Hello everyone, welcome to Oracle FM channel. In this video, we are going to briefly discuss about Oracle 19c RAC configuration and installation. Here it is. I have prepared the high level steps for RAC configuration and installation on Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.5. Here you can see there are two nodes are running. I have configured two VMs, RAC 1 and RAC 2. It's having, I have added the shared disk as well, shareable disk 40 GB for data disk group and 20 GB for voting disk group. So two VMs are running currently, and I have, for basic installation, we need the following softwares needs to be downloaded from that. Creating two node rack. First of all, we need to download Oracle Linux 7.5 and VirtualBox VirtualBox VM 6.1 for Windows physical host, and Oracle Database 19c Release 3 Linux grid grid binaries. We need to download these files first, and then we need to install that Oracle VirtualBox on that physical host. So in my case, I have installed latest 6.1 version, VirtualBox 6.1.12 R2 I have installed, and my lab server configuration perspective, like here you can see here that lab server configuration overview, RAC 1 node 1 details. Here it is a host name and the public IP I have configured, and the private IP whatever this IP assigned, and the RAC VIP I have configured. So everything I have configured in the etc host. So this is the RAC node 1 and RAC node 2 details. So common grid home directories, this is going to be this one. Okay, and scan IP, coming to scan IP, so I have configured like this way. You can see this is scan IP. In my case, I'm not going to discuss in this RAC configuration. I'm not going to DNS configuration. I'm going to skip this video. So here it is. You can see here that high level steps. First, we need to install the Oracle VirtualBox on the physical host. On top of that VM, we have to create one VM virtual machine, and on that VM we need to install the Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.5. And then once Oracle Linux have been installed, we need to configure that mount points. We need to partition. We need to create everything. So we need to set up that Linux machine, and then we need to configure the DNS server for scan IP configuration, scans configuration. But I am skipping this step in this video, and in my next video we will see the brief. And once everything done in that node 1, we need to copy that node 1 to node 2, like we need to copy the virtual machine as it like export appliance, like you need to export appliance in that in this virtual machine. You need to export, and then you can import. So copy of the virtual machine, creating a shared disk for ASM disk, and configure Oracle ASM library files and pre-checks for RAC setup, and then install configure Oracle grid infrastructure for a cluster, and then Oracle 19c database installation, and post for RAC setup. So these are the high level steps we are going to perform in my lab environment. Here it is network settings and configuration what I did. You can see here. So this is for public IP 201, and this is for private IP. Same thing I have done configured on This is for public, this is for private interconnect IPs. So two machines I have showed the type configuration details, and before that we need to install that system Linux prerequisites for Oracle RAC configurations and installations. So for software updating purpose, we need to configure internet settings first, check internet working or not. But yes, of course, like this setup I have already done, and I have already the packages, the following packages also have been installed in these two virtual machines. So this is have been done. This is Yum update -y. It's for latest Linux updates, and all the RPMs will be updated. And Yum install Y Oracle 3 install 19c. You can see here like I have installed already RPM underscore QA grep pre-install. You can see 19c. So both the side I have already installed this. You can see here, and so Oracle. This is for automatic Oracle settings. We need to install this configurations, and the RPM will be installed for Oracle settings by automatically. We no need to configure that Oracle settings manually. So you may install Oracle support. You can see this one, and this also I have configured already. RPM so underscore. So Oracle ASM, this RPM is also I have updated. The same thing on the another node. So it is there. So bind, this is for a DNS configuration. We are skipping these steps here, and also ccdl.p here to verify the Oracle settings. So you can verify using this command or Oracle settings. Once you are installing this one, you can see here. So Oracle settings will be configured once installed this one, and again here also you can check. So it is there. So next we are coming up host file configuration. Okay, I have already made an entry like cat etc host. You can see. So I made the entry for public IP, private IP, RAC VIP, and scan IP. So I made the entry on both the nodes. Cat etc host. Cool, right? Okay, next we need to create the groups and permissions. First you can check here groups ID Oracle. There won't be any groups of this. So ASM DBA, ASM admin, there won't be any group. So we need to group on both the ends, like so there won't be any group. Okay, cool. So we will add this group. ASM DBA, ASM offer, ASM admin. So both the end we are going to adding. So already is there. Okay, cool then. And then password, we need to change the password, Oracle password. So I have already changed the Oracle password, so no need to perform here. So for your information, I am putting all these steps to make for you guys I want to make you understand everything, each and every steps what we need to done, like, and we need to create the directories. Like, we have to create the directory. You can check the directory already existing or not in this. So there is no directories available. There is no directory, right? Cool. Then we can go ahead this. Here also you can check this directory also it is there. This is grid binaries installation. This is RDBMS manager installation directories. So let's check this one also. No issues. No, right? Okay, cool. Then we'll proceed all this once. So it is done. It is done. Okay, so we have and then we need to configure the base profile for the users for grid, and we are going to install under one user only. We are going to install under, we are not going to create any grid user for grid infrastructure for grid infrastructure and Oracle user for Oracle RDBMS. Like, I am going to install under the Oracle user only. So there will be only one user. So we are going to update that Oracle settings and that Oracle base profile on the both nodes. So you can see here it is, this is Oracle home. Okay, base profile. I'm going to put the entry here. So coming up, host node 2. Okay, cool. And then we'll create this file, environment file. We are creating for grid environment and DB environment. So you can open this one and put this. This is for grid environment, and then save it. Same thing. You can go ahead and do this in another node as well. Here we need to change to ASM 2. Done. And then Oracle DB environment. So the same DB locations, DB home location. Copy this one. Though I am putting as Oracle SID name SRLab DB. So I am going to create a DB SRLab DB. So I am putting like this. And again copy this one and go to that second node and paste that info again. Done, right? So you can see now there will be two environments have been created, DB environment and the grid environment. Cool. And then coming to firewall installation. Firewall, we need to stop that firewall. Already I have done this one. Even if you want, we can check. Again, we can perform this one. Once installation completed, we can enable this firewall on the both end. So firewall service I am disabling on both the nodes. So I am doing it all. This is in root privileges only, root user only. Okay. Then NTP configuration. Let's check NTP configuration. So I'm adding and restarting the service, and again I'm checking that NTP no such source, and no, yeah, it's okay. Again the same thing we need to do in another node as well. Okay. So pre-install we have already verified, we have installed. So this is I am showing you all how I did, and it is installed or not. This is what I did. So you will install. So it has been, the package has been installing. Oracle settings, everything will be configured, and it's installing these many packages. I mean up to here. So up to here pre-install complete, and here RPM we can verify it. So pre-install here. Okay, I'll show you. I already showed you. And Oracle ASM. Oracle ASM also installed this way only. So I have installed, and bind variables, bind for DNS configuration. That is also, that RPM also I have installed. So if suppose we are going to configure DNS configuration, if it will help. So bind up to here. So bind variable, bind RPMs will be installed, and then Oracle ASM live I have installed manually. So I showed you RPM QA graph Oracle ASM. You can see. So Oracle's lib I have installed. Okay, Oracle ASM lib, Oracle support. So the same thing we can verify on the another node as well. It is there. So everything pre-checks, everything I have done for your information. I am showing you how did how I did performed this and installed all the RPM packages. What all the prerequisites installation have been done. So I am showing you here. Okay. So we have verified. Now next step, we are going to configure the Oracle ASM. So as I said earlier, you can see there will be two disks have been assigned, but I did not make it a partitions. So I'm going to create a partitions now. So dev ls icon lrt sd fdisk dev sdb dev sdb. So you can see this is 20 GB partitions sdb1. Okay, already we have one partitions sdb1, and this is for sdb1, this partition stc1 partition. So I have already created partitions. So now what we are going to do, disk dev stc. So here you can see this is 40 GB. So partitions already is there. Now we are going to create ASM Oracle ASM configure -I Oracle install y Okay, Oracle ASM status. You can see ASM is loaded, Oracle ASM is mounted. Okay, now Oracle ASM help. Now we are going to create disk. We are going to create disk. Oracle ASM create disk dev sdb1 ocr word. Going to create OCR word disk. I am creating word disk as a disk group ASM disk group name. So creating sdb1. Okay, this is for 20 GB, this is for 40 GB. Okay, sorry. Okay, then already we have a disk like then Oracle ASM list disk. I have already created it seems. Okay, yeah, we have already created. Another node I am doing it. Oracle install. Yes. Oracle ASM status. Okay, Oracle ASM list disk. Okay, cool. So we have already, you can see here that data and OCR word disk already been created. So cd dev Oracle ASM LRT. So disk, you can see the two disk groups or disks are already been created and I have been created using this command. So this is a command we need to create. Okay, and then here also dev Oracle ASM disk. This there. Okay, cool. So once Oracle ASM disk group has been configured, so these are also we have done. This is another node we did, and this also we have done. And check the result.conf file. We need to make an entry like we'll open that etc result.conf. I am removing this one and adding. This is for 201. I am adding such local domain and okay, cool. And then coming into another node etc. Just change that IP address. Okay, so it's done. Now we will do that login as a Oracle user and I will check that pre-install. Before that, I'll show you softwares Here it is that a grid binaries zip file. I'm going to extract into this Oracle home, Oracle RAC home location, grid home location. I'm going to extract and zip -d U01 app 19.3.0.0 grid _1. I'm extracting so that the extracting process gets completed. What I did, I went to that grid binaries location and I have changed that ownership Oracle and install grid _1 because it will, after extracting, it will shows like all the files. It's being like root. So I have changed this and permission and everything. So now looks good. So now we can go to the checking that SSS setup. Like first we need to we need to configure that SSH setup select for passwordless authentication for remote nodes. So we will do, before that I'm doing the ping remote node. I am pinging all the public IP and public private VIP, public VIP like a RAC VIP. I will let me ping and check it across 192.168.58.202. So I am pinging from 201. Okay, ping 192.168.58.210. 220. So here it is 210, 220. It needs to be pinged both the nodes. Ping 192.168, 58, 202. Okay, 201. Okay, 210. It's not pinging. We need to check it. 168. Public IP, private IP, we should not. It should not ping. But all other thing we need to ping. Okay. Public private IP, it should ping across that node. Okay. Private RAC VIP should not ping. Okay, exactly right. So I am checking here. So correct only. It does not. It should not be reachable because RAC VIP should not pingable, and it should be private interconnect. It should be pingable across the nodes. So these two will be pingable, and this is scan IP. Okay. So ping 192.168.10.2. So it's pinging. So okay. So both the end network everything looks good, and we are going to check the passwordless authentication. I'm going to run this one. So okay, I need to cd install here. It is there. Yes, this is user setup, and this location it is available. So I will run again. So it's checking. I am giving Oracle password for both the nodes till setting up the SSH setup. It is completed. I am doing SSH SR lab RAC 2 date. It's asking password. Okay, I should run this in. Sorry guys, actually I should run this in Oracle user. I forgot to run because why app 19 grid deinstall. Okay, UID. I'm an Oracle user. Okay, so I should run this command in under Oracle user because we are going to install as Oracle grid infrastructure binaries from Oracle user only, right? So I should run from here. So let us do it again. Sorry to make you confused, and it should be running Oracle user. Okay, this is the setup. Okay, host name, you can see. Now let us check that remote node connectivity, password connectivity. SSH SRLab RAC 2 take. Cool, right? It is working fine. So it is connecting passwordless authentication. It is connecting that services SRLab RAC 2. You can do here that host name you can check. It is going to node 2. Okay, cool, fine, right? So this one we have completed, and again we need to run that cluster post pre checks for both the nodes. Run cluffy command. We need to run the CRS install checking pre checks will be happen like it will be running on both the nodes. So let us run. So I will run this cluffy command, and so okay, we'll execute. Default Oracle inventory group could not be determined. Like this could be ignorable. Like we don't bother about this error. It will take some quite long time because it will check all the cluster uh, installation pre-checks. It will do. So here it is running the pre-checks. just the pre checks completed across all the nodes, and as expected on pre-checks for cluster services setup was unsuccessful on all the nodes. It's expected only, and because I have a very less physical memory, so I have allocated, it's required 8 GB RAM per node, but I have allocated 4.5 GB each node, so that is required. And also ASM admin, so this the group does not belongs to OSASM, OSASM like OSDBA, so it's failing ASM DBA, ASM admin. So and then CVE disk also missing in this. So what we can do, like we can fix this and all. Let me fix and I will run. And also you can ignore this and all. This and all you can ignore, and NTP also you can ignore, and resolve.conf you can ignore. So remaining all these steps you can ignore. We can fix these things. We can fix these things and installing the CVQ disk and also physical memory. You can also this ignore, we can. So these three we can fix it, and I will do that. So that missed things and fixes, what I am going to do for this issue. I am going to modify the Oracle user as a user mod using this command. I am going to execute and root node root user node1. Now ID Oracle, you can see there, right? At the same time, you can check here ID Oracle. It is showing something different, right? So this is what it is issuing. It's showing the issue, it's generating an issue. So we can fix it like ID Oracle. Sounds good, right? And then coming up to next one, this disk has been missed out, and this one we need to install on the node 1 and node 2. So let's insert. This is the location, the RPM location. This is the location, RPM location. So I'm in that RPM location only to install. So it is done. And again, what we need to do, this one and the second node, it is not available. We need to SCP 192.168.58.202 temp. I'm transferring this one temp location. Okay, coming here, temp location, it is there, right? You install is done. Okay, so the both the issues we have been fixed up. Okay, now let us run that grid setup. We can go ahead. Again, we need to check the run this command once again. If you want, I will run again this command. So those two errors is being eradicated. now the issue has been fixed. So now we are good to go. Remaining issues, remaining errors we can ignore, and we can go ahead with the grid setup. Now you can see that previously showing that error has been fixed. Now we don't find that error, so here we don't get that error. Okay, so we are good to go with that installation grid setup. Okay, I have logged into that Oracle user in Oracle Linux virtual VM in that GUI mode for installation purpose. So okay, we'll go to that pwd db env. Okay, what I will do, I will go to cd v01 app group. So I am going to run this grid setup. So 3 GB available. Okay, good. We are running grid setup. We are going to configure that cluster layer now. Oracle 19c grid infrastructure 2 node rack we are going to configure. Configure Oracle create infrastructure for a new cluster. Click next. Configure an Oracle standalone cluster. Click next. So scan what we have given earlier, we need to give here. So scan name I am giving SR lab cluster. Scan name SR lab scan. If you want, you can verify here what we have mentioned. Scan name SR lab scan. Okay. Click next. Okay. Now we need to add a remote node. Click add, public name, srlab RAC 2 local domain, srlab RAC 2 local domain, virtual name srlab RAC 2 VIP dot local domain. Got it? srlab RAC 2 dot local domain, srlab RAC VIP dot local domain. So virtual host name and public host type we have mentioned. Select these two, do the SSH connectivity, give a OS password, Oracle password, setup. So successfully established the passwordless SSH connectivity between the selected nodes. Click OK. Then next. So it is performance detected be slow and yeah, obviously we have a very less RAM, so that it is showing like this. Click yes. Between I am checking. Okay. This is public. This is private plus yes. I'll choose. This one we do not use. Okay. Click next. So use Oracle Flux ASM for storage. Click next. It is optional now that GIMR, Grid Infrastructure Management Repository, that is MGMTDB, that is not mandate now from Oracle 19c onwards. It will ask for your choice like yes or no. So we can go ahead with no because it is also time consuming process and it does not require like we can go ahead with no. Now they can change the discovery path. It will show dev Oracle ASM disk. Now it will be displaying. OCR disk. Actually, why it's showing like this? I have used the shared file system with another rack environment so that it's showing like this. What we will do, we'll delete and recreate the sales in this group and I will do that. Okay. So Oracle ASM list disks, Oracle ASM, I will do delete disk. I will do that same thing in across the node. Okay. Now we will create the disk. Okay, again we'll do scan disk here. Articulation list disk swallowing. Articulation list disk. Okay, cool. Now coming back to here, what we will do, we'll go back. Next, okay, now it's showing provisioned. Okay, now you can click this one, OCR word disk 20 GB external. Okay, click next. Same password for both the user SS and ASNMP. I am giving same password for the both. Click next. Yes. So IPI might not does not record, not intelligent. Okay. So don't no need to register with the Enterprise Manager. Click next. ASM admin, ASM DB, ASM offer. Okay. Click next. Next. It's showing like enough disk space is not there. Like let me check. Now I have cleaned up some files and yeah, having enough space on that U01 mount. So again, Oracle base location is not empty. It's saying like U01 Oracle. Yes, yes, it's having already some another. I have already 19c installed software is running here, so that it is showing like this. This is the Oracle base location. It's not empty. It's showing. It's telling if there is not an issue. Like we can go. Yes, we can go ahead. Click next. Now it will check the pre-checks again. Okay, here it is. The physical memory failed. Warning, we don't have sufficient memory. Result kind of integrity failed. And okay, RPM package management database network protocol. Okay, we can ignore all these things and we can go ahead with that installation. Not an issue. Yes. So we are good to go, ready, good to go with that installation Oracle 19c RAC infrastructure. Let's install. It will take quite a long time because of this environment. My lab, it's very slow. It will take some time. Here it is. Almost we have done. Now we need to run root.sh under both the nodes in root user as a root user. This is node 1. We need to execute this one. First we'll execute a node 1. Okay. Yes. Yes. We can see the current operation from this log. Let us monitor from here. We'll minimize it and we'll monitor. This is what happening in the background. So it is step 1 out of maintain. So currently it's running step 3. So now the ASM has been successfully created. The disk group also created. Yes, it is completed that Oracle configure Oracle Grid infrastructure for a cluster succeed on node 1. We need to run this root.sh on node 2 now. Under root user, we will execute on node 2. Yeah, here it is. The second node root.sh also completed successfully. So two node ASM configuration and the cluster were configuration completed successfully. So now we can click OK here. So it will go for that Oracle grid infrastructure for a cluster like post verification checks will run. Once it is completed successfully, we have done, and we need to validate that Oracle cluster resources and services, everything we need to validate. Here it is that the post cluster verification is failed, so that is not an issue. We can click OK, and next. Yes. So the Oracle configuration, like Oracle Grid Infrastructure was successful, but some configuration system failed. That cancel or skip. Okay, that is not an issue. That is successfully we have configured 2-node rack on Oracle Linux 7.5 virtual machines. Okay. Now we will validate the services and we will finish this video, and we will see in next video like Oracle database creation on 2-node rack. Okay, now we have logged into the Oracle and we have validated the disk, and we are going to create the data disk group, and I will log in as Oracle ASCS. So I'm going to create a data disk group manually. So you can see here we have created the disk group, data disk group. So it is 40 GB. So we are going to go with the database creation, database software installation. We have done already. Like yesterday I did, and again I need to do this RAC configuration database DBMS binary installation. On top of that, we need to install and database creation. So now coming out. In second node, that ASM disk group, we have newly created disk group. It's not mounted, it is showing dismounted. What I did, and it's I logged into the ASM CMD, and let's do the output. It's showing only, and I'll post about disk group only. And I did mount data. Now I put after that it has been mounted. Now everything looks good. Now coming into the disk group is now you can check, it will be fine, right? So okay, then now we'll check that services running, cluster services across the nodes. It is running. CRS check cluster. Um, it's working fine, perfectly running fine. Yes, it's working fine. CRS has So here it is. This is I'm checking on second node. This everything looks good, and here is a listener, data disk group, and also listener, scan listener 1, 2, 3, and also that O0 disk group. It's been online on both the node and ASM. It's been started and stable on both the nodes. So everything looks good at that cluster side, and I'm checking on that node 1 as well. So we have successfully configured Oracle 2 node RAC and Oracle 19c 2 node RAC. Everything looks good. Next, we need to install RDBMS binary. On top of, we need to configure Oracle database. So looks good, and that Oracle 2 node RAC we have successfully configured. So we will see you in next video. Thanks for watching Oracle F1 channel. I think you all liked my videos. It's completely knowledge sharing platform of my videos on this channel as well as my blog. In this high level steps, I will be posting into my blog. This high level steps I will be posting in my blog, so everyone will be using this one. So thank you guys, thank you very much. Kindly do subscribe Oracle F1 channel. Do watch more. See you on my next video. Thank you.